Types of inequalities. There's greater than. Greater than is always written like this. Here, before we start this, we'll do this. That is greater than. What? Yep. This is greater than or equal to. That is less than. That is less than or equal to. Okay? Those are the four different types of inequalities we're going to play in. But today, this whole chapter is going to be about graphing them, solving them, all kinds of stuff about inequalities. So we're going to start relatively pretty basic. If we have this, now I'm going to give you a problem. We have 23 is greater than t plus 4. Right now, we're going to ignore the inequality. We're going to treat it just like an equal sign. Okay, so we're just going to solve this the exact same way. So, Mallory, how would I solve that? Subtract 4, right? And we get 19 is greater than t. Now, I'm going to teach you something right now. Alex won't mark, if you put it like that, Alex will mark it correct. But I'm going to teach you the way that you should put it. Because when you get to math, later on in math, they always want the variable on the left side of an inequality. Okay? So the variable needs to go to the left side. So all we do right here is just flip the entire equation around. Okay, so just grab it and basically turn it to make that. And that would be your answer. And the reason why is when we go to graph them, that allows us to see better which way to graph. Okay, and we're going to graph here in a second. But what about if I had this? Y minus 2 is greater than 11. Go for it. Hold on. Matthew, how do I do that one? Good. So y is greater than 13. And you have to write it like that. You just can't write 13. You have to write y is greater than 13. What about this one? Mason, you ready? How do I do that one? Okay. So we're going to add 14 to both sides, which is going to give us that. But what do we have to do? Yeah, we got to flip the entire thing around. Notice here, people call this like the alligator mouth. The alligator's eating the X, so the alligator has to be eating the X when you turn it around, right? Okay, any questions so far on solving them? Real easy, right? Any questions on it? I didn't think I'd get very many on that. Let's do one like this. And we are to Tanner, because Tanner's computer's open for some reason. Tanner, take out your headphones first off. No one wants to listen to your stupid music. Yeah, I know, but I can hear it. Here we go. W plus a half is less than or equal to negative 5/8. How do I do this one, Tanner? Well, because you were listening to music, that's why. I told you. Here, Janae, help him. What would you do? So we're going to subtract a half to both sides. So negative 5/8 minus a half. Now you have a calculator, or we can do what? Okay, so 2 times what gives us 8? So that'd make us 4/8, right? Because you times this by 4, you times that by 4. So negative 5 minus 4 is negative 9 over 8.
That was so much easier than I thought it would. I was like actually trying to.
Okay? What?
I don't know.
Question?
I don't know what I'm trying to ask.
Okay, let's do another fraction one so you guys can see it. Because there is going to be a couple fraction ones on your homework today. I've seen it done a couple different ways, but I'm just going to show you. I'm going to show you a couple different ways to do it. So there's the first, and I'm going to write it right here. If you're solving equations with fractions, now the first thing you can do is you can add 2/5 to both sides, right? Right here. So we're going to add 2/5 to both sides, which is going to get x alone. And then you have to get a common denominator. What's a common denominator of 4 and 5? What number does 4 and 5 both go into? 20. So what times 4 gives us 20, Dre? So we're going to times the top and the bottom of this by 5. So we're going to get negative 5 over 20. What times 5 gives us 20? So 4 times 2 is 8 over 20, or that is 3 over 20, right? Negative 5. Now there is a different way to do this, so I'm going to show you guys. You can do it that way, or you can do it this way. Start off right here. What number does 5 and 4 both go into? 20. So I'm going to times all three of these terms by 20. So what's 20 times x? Okay, now look, 20 times negative 2/5. What's 20 times a negative 2? So we're going to go 20 times negative 2/5. What's 20 times a negative 2? Divided by 5? Okay, what's 20 times 1? Divided by 4? Is that a problem that looks a lot easier to solve? Here, solve this one for me, Dre. Add 8. Okay, now what? So we get x is less than or equal to 3/20. Is that the exact same answer? Yeah, either way, I mean, you guys have calculators, so honestly, it shouldn't be very hard to be able to add or subtract fractions, right? Okay, we need to get on to graphing. So take out your journals real quick. Whoever's clicking, stop. Corbin. Okay, inequalities are normally graphed on number lines. Okay, they're usually graphed on a number line. Now, a number line looks like this. It looks like there's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on, right? And then negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, and so on. That's an example of a number line. If an inequality is greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to, it's a filled-in circle. Okay, you're going to put a filled-in circle. If it's greater than or less than, it's an open circle. Okay, so make sure you guys memorize that. So if I have this, A is greater than or equal to 6. First off, we're going to go over to 6. Is it an open or a closed circle? Okay. Now, this is the tricky thing. The way this arrow is going to point, this is why the variable needs to be on the left, because the inequality will actually show you which way the arrow is going. If you guys imagine that as an arrow, which way is it going? To the right, so that would be the part, it's just a line that goes like that. Okay, I'm out of room there, sorry, so it's not very big. Let's say that x is less than negative 3. So if I have my number line, and I'm going to get to the point where you're going to see my number lines and kind of laugh at them, but it's all right. Open or closed circle on negative 3. Okay, which way is the arrow pointing? To the left. Look, if you look at the inequality, the variable is on the left, so it tells you which way it's going, and it's going that way. See that? Kind of sweet, right? Okay, let's do another. B is greater than 1. So if I have a 0 and a 1, And that would be -1 right there. Open circle going to the right. Perfect. Okay, the arrow, if the variable is on the left, the inequality shows you which way it's going. If this is, it's just like an arrow right here. It's telling you which way it's going. Okay? Alright, last one. Let's go. Q is less than or equal to -2. So there's 0, there's -2. Is it an open or a closed circle? Closed circle going to the left. And that's how you graph inequalities on a number line. Any questions on any of that? Okay, today shouldn't be too hard of a day. It's going to be a nice, easy day compared to what we've been learning. So 5-1, you're up.